The war in Ukraine is entering a decisive turning point. In the Dorilia direction, a Ukrainian military operation is now drawing the attention of the entire world. On this strategic front, Kyiv's forces are carrying out what many are already calling one of the most successful offensives in months. The Russians, who thought they could hold their positions and stabilize the front line, now find themselves in a dramatic situation, threatened by a complete encirclement. From the very first hours of the operation, Ukrainian brigades advanced with surgical precision. In just a few days, several kilometers of territory were liberated. But it is not only the geographical progress that impresses, it is the way Ukrainian units are methodically cutting enemy supply lines, depriving Russian forces of reinforcements and provisions. In the area, Ukrainian officers speak of a real iron trap closing in. At the heart of this maneuver are the 33rd and 425th Assault Units, supported by the 1st Separate Assault Regiment, as well as the 79th and 82nd Airborne Brigades. Together, they advance in a coordinated way, each playing a precise role in the operation. It is a military orchestration that some experts are already comparing to the great operations of World War II. If you want to follow the evolution of this conflict in real time and understand the stakes behind every battle, subscribe now. This is where you'll find clear, factual, and vivid analysis of the events. But let's return to Dorilia. On the ground, testimonies are multiplying. Russian soldiers, isolated, are falling under Ukrainian crossfire. Others, demoralized, are surrendering en masse. This is no longer just a war of positions, it is a psychological war. The Russians see their units encircled, their lines shattered, and their losses skyrocketing. According to Ukrainian military sources, the casualty ratio now stands at 1-5 in Ukraine's favor. In other words, for every Ukrainian soldier lost, 5 Russians fall. This situation reminds military historians of the Battle of Kursk, one of the greatest tank clashes in history, where the Wehrmacht ran into an implacable Soviet defense. Today in Dorilia, the parallels are striking. One army advances in circles and presses forward, while the other exhausts itself in desperate attempts to break the circle. Picture the scene. 3 massive military cauldrons are already forming on the map, entire pockets of Russian soldiers cut off from their command. Ukrainian drones, omnipresent, track movements, adjust artillery fire, and every attempt at escape ends in failure. The pressure is constant, relentless, and that's not all. Even Russia's so-called elite units have been deployed in an attempt to break the encirclement. But nothing has worked. They too have suffered heavy losses. Destroyed armored vehicles, exploded ammunition depots, and entire columns caught in crossfire. The reality is brutal. Moscow is losing some of its best forces here. If you believe these Ukrainian victories should be told to the widest audience possible, then support this work. A simple subscription, a share, and you help bring these decisive moments of history to light. The strength of this offensive also lies in its coordination. Each unit knows exactly where to strike. Assault brigades cut off supply roads. Airborne forces secure the flanks. Artillery pounds fortified positions. And drones, the invisible weapon, monitor every enemy movement. All of this forms a war machine that advances step by step inexorably. But behind these military successes, there is also suffering. The fighting is intense. The human loss is heavy. In this part of Donetsk, every liberated village tells a story of ruins, explosions, and displaced families. Residents, long accustomed to the constant sound of drones and missiles, now witness the transformation of their daily lives. Where once reigned the fear of occupation, hope for lasting liberation is reborn. And this is where everything takes on meaning. Beyond numbers, maps, and military reports, human lives are at stake. Families regain their freedom. Children can dream of a future without bombs. And soldiers fight knowing that every kilometer retaken brings their country closer to peace. The Battle of Dorilia is not over, but already it is being studied as an example in military academies. An example of coordination, adaptation, and resilience. It shows that in the face of a numerically superior army, tactical intelligence, morale, and strategy can reverse the course of a war. If you too believe these stories deserve to be told with force and clarity, then subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video. Because what is happening in Dorilia is not only about Ukraine, it is a lesson for the entire world. The encirclement tightens, Russian lines crack, and history is being written before our eyes. Dorilia could well become one of those names forever engraved in the memory of war. a place where a people showed it could rise, strike, and reverse the course of destiny.